Good morning. It's lovely to see you all. Now, I'm on a run this morning and I come across this lake. So that got me thinking. It's reminded me of a story. You might know it. It's in the Bible, so it's probably a good story. It's one that Jesus was in and his disciples, and they were on a lake just like this, maybe a little bit bigger. I imagine it was a bit bigger, but it was similar. There was water, so that was wet, and there was land, and that was dry. So let's run down there and I'll tell you the rest of this story. So I think we've arrived. We found the lake safely on the edge of the lake. The lake that he was on was called Lake Galilee, and it's a little bit like this. So let me find a spot where I can sit down and then I'll tell you the rest of this story. And I wonder, before I tell you what it is, I wonder if you can guess what story it is that I'm going to tell you about the lake. Come on, let's go. So, have you guessed what the story is? The story I'm going to tell you is the time when Jesus calmed the storm on Lake Galilee. Jesus was with his disciples and he was teaching. He was on one side of the lake. Maybe he was over there. There's some villages over there. There's some people to teach to. And after he was teaching, he decided that he would take his disciples to the other side of the lake to get away from the crowds. It's a bit quieter. And to start with, the weather was really nice, so the disciples got in a boat and they started rowing from one side, and they were off over there. Now remember, Lake Galilee was much, much bigger than this. It was bigger than this. It was bigger than this. Even bigger than this. It was even bigger than all of that. They were rowing, heave, heave, heave. A storm began. The waves got really choppy and the wind was howling and the clouds went in, so it got a little bit dark, and the disciples were very afraid because the sea was very rough and their boat was going up. It was going down. It was going up. It was going sideways. It was going sideways the other way. And it was really uncomfortable. They did not want to be on that boat. They thought they were going to drown. But you know what Jesus was doing? He was sleeping. God, can you imagine sleeping? I know, right? Could you imagine it? All that palaver going on, and he was sleeping. Oh dear. So this made the disciples even more worried. So they were like, Jesus, get up. There's a storm, we need your help. We're gonna die. We're going to drown in this storm. The waves are gonna come over our boat, and we don't know what might happen. And Jesus said something to them. He said, why are you afraid? You know, the strange thing is, he was very calm. He wasn't afraid like the disciples were. So he said, why are you afraid? Do you not have much faith? So then Jesus got up, he stood at the front of the boat, and he commanded the waves. He told them, wind, be quiet. And the wind was quiet. And he told the waves to die down. And they did. So we are back to a lake that's nice and calm. Like this one. So the disciples, Jesus' friends, they were worried. But they didn't need to be, because when they trusted Jesus, they knew that he had everything in control and he had power in that situation. He calmed the winds and the waves. So that's the story. I think what we're going to do now is I'll run home and I'll race you, see who can get there first, and we might do a craft. Right. I don't know who won that race. Whew. But that was a long way for me. I hope the race to your kitchen table or wherever it is that you can do this craft has been easier than mine. Right, so we're going to make a boat, and I think I'm going to put the instructions on Facebook. So if your mummies or daddies want to get that for a little bit of a helping hand, they can do. Now you'll need an A4 sheet of paper. A4 is important. Being pink probably isn't. And it's a bit of origami. No scissors. Parents, you might have to help. I need my parents to help. This is something to aim for. This is one I made earlier. I'm going to start with the A4 piece of paper, and step 1 on the instructions is we're going to fold it in half in the long direction. So, I've not got it lined up. Nice sharp fold there. And then you're going to unfold it and fold it up in the opposite direction, 90 degrees too. I can't get this to work. Right, make that a nice crease. And then don't unfold it this time. And you're going to arrange it so that I've got the opening bit is towards me and then the hingy bit is away from me. And then I'm going to take this corner here, this one, I'm going to fold it down into the middle to make that off into a triangle here. Make that nice and flat. Same on the left side. Take that down, fold that. Right, lovely. Okay, step 4, if you're following along on the instructions. Fold up the rectangle at the bottom. So that got over the triangles we've already made. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. And fold that off, and then I'm going to turn it back over to how it was before. I don't know why, it just kind of helps. Or something like that. We're on step 6. So, I see, this is where I went wrong last time. You go out like that, and then you pinch it there to fold it into a square. And then you have these like sticky outy floaty bits, whatever. Don't fold them, just lift one of them up and tuck the other one underneath, and then let that go around like that. I'll show you the other one a bit closer. Lift one of them up and then fold the other one underneath, and then pop the other one over the top. Okay, so then you end up with something a bit like that. Right. So with this flappy thing here, it's not sail, facing towards you, fold that up to make it triangle, so you can go in half, and then do the same on the other side. I'm not going to flip it over because it gets confusing if you do that. So we've done the same there. Now we're on step 7, I think, on the instructions. And then this is the difficult bit. So you pull it out, and then you're going to flip it around like this. So you got the whatever that is facing towards you, and then you're going to close it like that to bring those 2 points together. So then you turn it over to have the opening bit at the bottom. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to take the top corners and pull them out, and hopefully it kind of just, yeah, it's not working for me. And there it is! Your little boat. So now we've got 2 of them. We can race them. This one can have a bit of a slip and sliding. Maybe if you make a few, do one for your mum or your dad, and you can race them. Well, we don't have a finish line.